Okay, now let's go to chapter 2, rational functions. So good morning everyone. Let's have our next topic. For our subtopic for this chapter, we have the rational functions, equations, and inequalities. So question, what is the difference between the three? The rational functions, equations, and inequalities. What do you think? Okay. Rational function is defined by this. A function of the form f of x equals p of x over q of x. So when we say rational, meaning parang ratio or in fraction form. That is why this is in fraction form. Where p of x and q of x are polynomials and q of x is not a zero polynomial. Because if your q of x is a zero function, it means your f of x is undefined. Okay, and denominator will be undefined. Now take note of this p and q are polynomials, meaning the exponent of your variable is an integer. Say for example, this one, axn or an plus b, an minus 1, xn minus 1, and so on. Where our n is an integer. So, di pwede 1/2, 1/4, or decimal. Okay, it should be an integer. Okay. So, if you have f of x is equal to 2x raised to 1/2 over 3, this is not a rational function because of your numerator is not a polynomial with an integer exponent. Okay, so that is why we have this example at the bottom. We have look at the exponent x squared. We have integer 2x. The exponent of x is integer 1, or we can write it as this. F of x will be changed to y. So that is a rational function. Y is equal to something, or f of x is equal to something in terms of x. How about rational equation? So of course, by the term itself, equation and rational, so it involves an equation. An equation involving rational expressions. So expressions. So in this case, we have this as an example. We have three rational expressions. 2 over x, 3 over x, and 1/5. And when we say rational inequality, of course, inequality, it uses the symbol less than or equal, greater than, and greater than or equal. So we have this rational inequality because it uses less than or equal. Okay, so by the way, this is the polynomial function. This is what I told you. No, n must be a positive integer. Okay, so if your n is not positive integer, then it is not a rational function or a polynomial function. So this is not a rational function. So how do we solve rational equations and inequalities? So first, we'll discuss this one, how to solve rational equations. So the procedure, of course, are this. Of course, you need to find the LCD. No? So to solve rational equations, eliminate the denominators by multiplying each term of the equation by the LCD, or the least common denominator. Then after eliminating, you do your basic algebra, and then for the final answer, check if your answer satisfies the equations or not, because if not, it is an extraneous solution. Extra lang. Okay, example 1. Solve for x in this equation. Okay, if you notice, we have the solution already to minimize the time. So the LCD of all the denominator is 10x. Okay, take note, we have three denominators. We have x, we have 2x, and we have 5. So to find the LCD, we need to list down all the factors of each term. So for x, what are the factors of x? Only 1 and x. So do not write 1, x lang. For 2x, the factors are x and 2. So times 2. So that is 2x. Ba? So we'll write it by column. So 5. So we'll write it here. So to get your LCD, you do this. So this is for the column x times 2 times 5. So that is why we have the LCD as 10x. Okay, so multiply them, all of the terms, 1, 2, 3 by 10x. So that is why we have this. So multiplying by 10x, this will cancel out. That is why we have 20. X will cancel out. So that is why we have 30. 10 times 3 is 30 divided by 2, we have 15. Okay, 10 times 30 divided by 2 is 15. And of course, cancel. So 2 times 1 is 2. Then meron pang x, so 2x. So it is easy na to manipulate because hindi na fraction. So 20 minus 15 is 5 equals 2x. Then divide both sides by 2. So we have x is equal to 5 halves. Then you can check, no? Substitute if you want to check. No? How do you substitute? So you din lang. Okay, 2 over 5 halves minus 3 over 2 times 5 halves. Is it equal to 1/5? So let's check. So this will become 4 over 5. Na, naglibog mo. So this will become by the law of by the property of fraction, we have 2 over 1 times the reciprocal of 5 halves. So we have this minus this one, we can cancel out 2. So we have 3 over 5. Is it equal to 1/5? Now let's check. So this will become 4/5. 5 minus 3/5, which is equal to 4 minus 3, 1/5, which is equal to 1/5. Okay, so meaning the solution set contains 5 over 2 because it satisfies the equation. Next. Okay, tas na. So we have this. So first we need to find the LCD. So first we have this 3 denominators. So the factors for x plus 2 is 1 and x plus 2. So just copy the expression x plus 2. This is considered as one expression. Since this is also linear, x minus 2. So another expression. So x minus 2 is not equal to x plus 2. So they are not equal, so write it in another column, x minus 2. And if you can still remember, x squared minus 4 is factorable. So we can factor this as x plus 2 times x minus 2. So these are the two factors of x squared minus 4. So you put it levels x plus 2 and levels x minus 2. So therefore, we have this first factor for the LCD, x plus 2 times x minus 2. So this is our LCD. That is why our LCD is x minus 2 times x plus 2. So multiply them. So this one, multiply per term. So cancel si x plus 2. So that is why we have x times x minus 2 times x, this one. Then for the second part, so minus. So this is the minus, no, minus. So cancel x minus 2. So x plus 2 times 1 is x plus 2. So we have this. Then for this part, cancel, 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 cancel. So we have 8. Okay. So I will erase this. Okay na ni. Then, you distribute your x, this one. So we have x squared. Yung shortcut. So this will become, ako sa nang erase. So this will become x squared minus 2x. Then minus x minus 2 equals 8. And after this, we will arrive at combining like terms, x squared minus 3x minus 2 minus 8, no, transpose si 8. So that is why we have x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So that is why we have this expression na x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay? So upon reaching this step, okay, since this is a quadratic form, so we will use our previous strategy. So this is a quadratic form. You can use the factoring if it can be factored, or by quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is what? Say for example, we have this quadratic formula is negative b plus n minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a, where your quadratic equation looks like this: bx plus c equals 0. Okay, you can use that one. But since in this given example, our quadratic equation or expression can be factored to x plus 2 times x minus 5. So it's either x plus 2 is 0 or x minus 5 is 0. Remember, if we have ab equals 0, one of them must be 0. It can be both or one of them. So that is why we have this. Your a, your x plus 2 is 0, or your b, which is x minus 5, is 0. Then solving for x, so x is negative 2 and x is 5. Then check for the extraneous root. Okay, then you substitute. Take note that if you substitute x minus 2, dire pa lang daan natay x plus 2. If you substitute x minus 2, no? Here. If you substitute x minus negative 2 here, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So this will become undefined. So meaning negative 2 is an extraneous root. Okay? So this is negative 2. Kulang ang negative 2. And if you substitute 5, now you will see that 5 satisfies the equation. Okay? Let's move on. Let's go to problem solving. In an inter-barangay basketball league, the team from Barangay Kulyat has won 12 out of 25 games, a winning percentage of 48%. How many games should they win in a row to improve their winning percentage to 60%? Okay, take note. How do we get the percentage? No, for example, for your score, it should be your student score over the total score of the quiz. No? So in this case, we'll use the number of won games of Barangay Kulyat divided by the number of total games. Right? So at first, they won 12 out of 25. So that is, if we compute that one, that is 48. So this is now your 0.48 or equivalent to 48%. Now the question is, how many games should they win in a row to improve to 60? So dapat mas 60 ni siya diri nga side. Okay, to do that, okay, we will add. Say for example, x is our variable for the additional number of games. So if they play x additional number, so x pud sa ubos. Lisod pod, no? So our aim is for this fraction, or for this their winning percentage. So this is their winning percentage to be equal to 60%, or this is 0.6. Okay, so I will write that to 0.6. So this will become 0.6. Okay, then compute. So this will become 12 plus x. So we will multiply both sides by 25 plus x. So cancel, cancel. So for this side, 0.6 times 25 plus x. So 12 plus x is equal to, distribute, 0.6 times 25, you have 15, plus 0.6x. So I will continue here. So let's regroup. So we have x minus 0.6x. So transpose the 0.6, so negative 0.6. Then we will transpose 12, so negative 12. 15 and x wala gi-transpose, so their signs will remain. So this will become 0.4x and 3. So divide by 0.4, x is pila 7.5. Okay, so 7.5 games. But since wala man tayo decimal nga game, number of games, so we will round this up to 8. Do not round down, ha? Because if you use 7, say for example, the answer is 7.4, and you will round that down to 7. If you will use 7, mugamay ang 0.6, it will be less than 0.6. Well, let's try. 12 plus 7 divided by 30. Gamay siya, 59. So 8 games. So Barangay Kulyat needs 8 games to improve their winning percentage to 60. Okay. Last, Jens walks 5 kilometers from his house to Quiapo to buy a new bike which he uses to return home. He averaged 10 kilometers faster on his bike than on foot. It's normal. Nagbike na good, no? If his total trip took 1 hour and 20 minutes, what is his walking speed in kilometers per hour? Use the formula V is equal to distance over D. So if this is the formula, V is equal to D over T, our time, computing for time, will be D over V. Right? Okay. So, the 5 kilometers from his house to buy a new bike. So, nag-walk lang siya for the first part. So, yung time will be, for the first one, from house to Quiapo, the time will be the 5 kilometers divided by his speed, right? Plus, the question is, why are we using this T? Because we're given with this total trip is we're given with the time. Okay. So we will use this so that also we're asked to find the walking speed. This is the V for the average. So we will find V. So the equation must contain only with variable V. Okay, with variable V. Okay, so let's go back. 5 kilometers divided by V plus when he returns to his house, so he averaged 10 kilometers faster. So meaning again, 5 man gyapon ng kilometers, it doesn't change. So faster, it will be v plus 10 because his speed is faster. Okay. So that time, no, from his house to Quiapo, which is 5 kilometers, it took him 1 hour and 20 minutes. So what is 1 hour and 20 minutes? 1 hour and 20 minutes, that is equivalent to 4/3 hours. No, kayo ano na, 1 plus 20/60. 20/60 is 1/3. So use your calculator or basic math. 3 plus 1, so 4/3. So it took him 4/3 to do this. This is going, this is returning home. Okay, I will erase this. So then we will compute for V. Now what is our LCD? We have 3 V and V plus 10. So they are all distinct, no, distinct tanan and linear mani. So 3V V plus 10. So we'll just multiply them all. Plus 10. Okay, so this is our LCD. So multiply by 3V times V plus 10. 3V times V plus 10. So cancel. So we have 15 times V plus 10. 15 because 3 times 5. Plus cancel si V10. So 3V. So this is not cancel for the second part. 3V times 5 is 15V. And for this part, cancel si 3. So we have 4V times V plus 10. This is 10. So distribute 15V plus 150 plus 15V equals 4V squared plus 40V. So since this is quadratic, ano na lang. So 0 equals 4V squared plus 40V transpose. 15V minus 15V minus 150. So this will become 4V squared. Use your calculator. This is 10V minus 150. Okay, then I will continue this here. We'll delete this. Okay. So we can divide all of them by 2. Okay, divide by 2. So this will become 2V squared minus 5V minus 75 plus 10V. Okay, sorry, flat. Then we can factor this with these two factors, 2V plus 15 and V minus 5. Okay, by factoring, or you can use the quadratic formula. Okay, so therefore 2V plus 15 is 0 or V minus 5 is 0. So computing for V, 2V negative 15 over 2. Negative 15, then divide by 2. This will become V negative 15 over 2. And the other one, V equals 5. Take note, this will be rejected because there is no negative speed. Okay? Rejected. This will be an extraneous root. So our answer is 5. So his walking speed is 5 kilometers per hour. Then prepare for a quiz.